Well, howdy folks. Max Clark here. I am the director of Camp Unalaya with another trail video. Today we're going to be talking about the whitewater rafting trip and what that is all about. Hey, simply put, this trip is going to blow your mind. It's a 1 week trip designed for campers ages 12 to 14. And without further ado, man, let's just get into it. So I'm here on the camp website. You can see where you can find all the the whitewater camp information, costs, and how to register. Check it out, trail map video. That's what we're making right now. All right, so let's jump into the map. That'll help me show you kind of what we're doing and where we're going. So we're going to start out here at Camp Unalaya. Here's Wisconsin coming in to Shoe Pond. Camp Unalaya is right here. And I'm going to switch over to my mapping software. That's going to help me show you the rivers. It's going to get a little cluttery here. That's because I do a lot of mapping for trips all throughout this area. So here's camp. You can see our trail networks down in here. Our first stretch of river, so the kids come in, they do the regular team building exercises for the first day, and then the second day we're going to start right away getting into the water. We have this really cool stretch of river right outside camp down the Oconto, and this is a great introduction to just moving down river. It's about 1.7 miles long, so not humongous. What they do is they'll actually take kayaks from camp and kayak all the way across Chute Pond. They'll pop out by the dam and then come down this river. There's a couple of riffles throughout here. Nothing crazy at all. This is, again, just we're getting used to going down river. So that's day one, and they'll come back to camp and participate. They'll do zip line, they'll do some team building, and then call it a day, getting ready for their big day tomorrow. So their second stretch that they're going to do is, so camped right here, we're coming over to the Wolf River over here. And the Wolf is very famous, probably one of the most paddled rivers in Wisconsin, and for good reason. It's just awesome. And we are going to do a 13-mile stretch of whitewater. This time we're using actual whitewater rafts and going through a contractor on that. So I just wanted to show you quickly a little bit about that. So they're going to put in here just south of 64. So this is Highway 64 and Highway 55. A little history on Highway 55. This is an ancient route. Let me. We got time here for a second. I'm going to zoom out. So 55 follows the whole Wolf River, and back in the copper culture days, this pathway existed because native populations were heading up into the UP to find basically ground sourced copper to bang into tools and trade and stuff like that. So this pathway existed. And then in the 1800s, it was a little more established, and early settlers were coming in here and setting up kind of trading posts in small villages. So a lot of times when you see little names associated along 55, those were the original names from the 1800s. And then during the Civil War, here's your pop trivia for today. During the Civil War, President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, he had this road built as a military pathway, because during the Civil War he feared an invasion from the British coming in from Canada. So they built this all the way up to the Canadian border. Pretty amazing. There's a little history, and it runs right there by the Wolf River. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get back into the trip. So we are going to get into some rapids right away. And the Wolf River has about 9 separate distinct rapid areas that they're going to go through. The first section here, this is the Rocky Rips. It's a Class 1 area, so nothing too crazy. They're going to move down to the Crawl Rapids. You can see them here through the satellite imagery. And these are Class 2 rapids that they'll go through. As it narrows right here, they're going to go through what's called the Horse Race Rapids, another set of Class 2. Moving down river. These are the 20-day rapids, another set of Class 2s. All the rapids on here are Class 2. Okay, cruising down. We are going to get to the Boy Scout camp. Yes, there are other camps out here. And this one, this is, if you've ever heard of Gardner Dam Boy Scout Camp, well, here it is, Gardner Dam. And they have their own stretch of rapids that run right through here. So this is called Boy Scout Rapids. Pretty exciting stuff. Goes through there, Class 2, and that flows right into Hanson's Rapids, which is a Class 2 plus. So depending on the water level, that could get into a Class 3 situation. Keep going down, you can see that there's other sections of that continue on. There's about a mile of a little bit of whitewater that goes through there. And then they'll head down here to Gilmore's Mistake. Now, it's not Camper's Mistake, it was Gilmore's Mistake. And then we'll come down here. The last one is the Burnt Shanty Rapids. And then we finish out at Shotgun Eddies. So Shotgun Eddies is a local favorite. These are the Shotgun Eddy Rapids right here. They're Class 2. And then we're going to pull out here in the middle of all this. You'll see, I'm going to zoom in. Here's another little trivia for you. Look, there's writing on the roof. And I don't know if you can read it, but it says Shotgun Eddy. Pretty cool. I love the North. So Shotgun Eddy right there is where we pull out. Wolf River, exciting day. That whole route takes about 7 hours to do. They're going to stop for lunch along the way. And then we're right by camp, so they're just going to drive by back home at the end of the day, rest up, and play camp games and evening program and everything, and get ready for their next day. Okay, day 3, we're going to head the other direction. We're kind of heading northeast. And we're looking for the Peshtigo River, and here it is. Peshtigo River. This is the Cauldron Falls Reservoir. This is a great camping canoe. They have canoe in sites right here, so it's a separate little note there. But if you're looking for a little weekend getaway, I love this place. I take my kids there and do little overnighters. Okay, Peshtigo River, one of the best whitewater rivers in Wisconsin. Now you'll see this stretch of river, it's a little bit shorter. We're looking at 4.5 miles here of waterway. That doesn't mean it's not exciting. There are a lot of really cool rapids and a lot of action throughout here. So they're going to put in up here upstream and head on down. And the names are not too creative on the Peshtigo, so we're going to go to the first drop, which is a Class 2. We're going to the second drop, which is a Class 2. This one's pretty spectacular. Take a look. Pretty cool. Flowing down through that. And then they're coming in, and you can see it's pretty much nonstop boulder field, so that's a lot of fun. They're going to go to the third drop. Yep, Class 2. And then right by a third drop is 5 Foot Falls. So going through that. Another horse race rapid. So again, whenever it narrows out, gets real skinny, the river is going to pick up some speed and go through. And then their final one here is the S-Curve Rapids. Now S-Curve Rapids is about a mile long, so it's nonstop. Class 2, heading all the way through here. All the way out and getting pulled out here at Kozers. So this is an area owned by Kozers Rafting, and they're going to help us out on this. So we have guides for all of the whitewater. We're doing third-party guides. They just know the river better than we do, and they do a great job. So our counselors still go with the kids and supervise the kids and make sure they have a good, safe time. But on our whitewater experiences, we're contracting out for that. So again, this is the Peshtigo River stretch, super exciting area. And this is where the kids are going to experience their first Class 3. So that Horseshoe Rapids right here is actually a Class 3 rapid. So pretty exciting. All right. So when they're done here, they're actually going to travel up to Niagara. And that's up by the Upper Peninsula border. So we're going to move over there too. Sorry, my computer takes a little bit as I move on this software. It's kind of a pain. It's camp internet, Do the best we can with what we got. All right. So now we're up on the Menominee River, and there is a section up here that's very famous. It's called Piers Gorge, and it's not very long. Okay, so it's only 3 miles, 3.8 miles. But there are some spectacular rapids in here, super fun. And again, we contract out with Wildman, and they'll actually run this section twice. So let me scooch in here and kind of show you what we're dealing with. So there's four rapid sections. So the first one that we're coming up is Sand Portage Falls. This is a class 2 plus, but depending on the water level, it could be a class 3. And you can see kind of the outline of the water, of the whitewater right there. And then it's going to head down to, this is the most exciting one. This is like the pinnacle of the trip, which is Missicot Falls. This is a class 4. So again, our guides are going to take us down this. This is so exciting. This is everybody's highlight. Like, we've run this trip for, gosh, I don't know, since 2017, I want to say, was the first time we offered whitewater rafting. And it's a highlight. They just love that. It's very exciting. There's big drops and a lot of water, so super cool. And then it doesn't stop there. You pop out, and right here are the Twin Sisters. So there's number 1 right here, and that's a class 2, and then Twin Sisters 2 is a class 3 right there. Right after that, it's all the steam's out, man. It's just a nice float down the Menominee to get pulled out, and they can run it again. So pretty cool. By now, our kids have done over 20 miles of riverways and doing a lot of whitewater. And so we're going to head back to camp for the last day. Pardon me, bear with me here. This is camp over here where I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to show you the last little section. So on Friday, before they go home, we're going to do one last fun day. And this is kind of a local secret, if you will. Local secret. So like, if you've ever been to camp and you heard about Slippery Rock or Jumping Rock, yep, those are pretty famous, iconic things. Well, over here is Bagley Rapids, and this is a really fun stretch of water. I've kayaked this before, and we've canoed it before. Canoeing was a little intense. Kayaking was a little better, but it is very fun for tubing. So on this, it's only about, I don't know, a mile and a half. Let's take a look. What we mapped out here. 1.3 miles. They're basically going from Bagley Rapids Campground, and hot tip for you, if you do this on your own, you're going to go in right here. There's campsite number 19, and it takes you right in there. So you just kind of go campsite 19. You drop into the river, and you have to have a car parked down here at the Kingston Bridge. This is the Kingston Bridge. It's also a really good duck hunting spot, but don't tell anybody about that. All right. So you float down, and there are just a number of super fun, like class 3 drops right in here. Woof! You go down that, and a couple more. You can't see; it's a little bit narrower waterway, but there's plenty of action, and it's just a lot of fun in the tube. Then it's an easy float out. So that's the last thing they do, as just a celebration, grand finale, and a little change of pace. There is kind of do a local thing. So I love this itinerary. I don't know about you as an adult, like looking at this, you go, man, I wish I could go to camp and just do a week of whitewater rafting. That seems awesome. So there you have it. Yep, there you have it. You'll notice here, I went back here, the price is a little more for whitewater rafting, and that's really a reflection of the amount of contracting that we do for this, because we want good guides, we want pro guides taking the kids down the stretches of whitewater. So it does cost a little bit more, but definitely well worth it. All right. Okay. So like always, if you have any questions about this, or you have questions about gear or other trips,